Come now and settle into this quiet space. Let the day dissolve behind you like footprints washed away by a gentle tide. Feel the weight of your body, a soft and welcome anchor holding you to this moment, to this place of rest. There is nothing to do, nowhere to be, but right here, resting at the threshold of sleep. Let your breath be the quiet rhythm that guides you inward. A slow, easy inhale and a long, gentle exhale. With each breath, you are stepping away from the noise of the world and closer to the silent, immense landscape within you. Tonight, we are embarking on a journey not across oceans or stars, but through the luminous and intricate architecture of your own mind. We are going to explore the beautiful, quiet miracle of how a moment becomes a memory. And our journey begins right here in the soft, humming stillness of the present, because every memory you have ever held, the face of a loved one, the melody of a favorite song, the warmth of a summer sun on your skin, it all began in a moment. Just like this one, it began as pure sensation. The present moment is the only place a memory can be born. It is the raw material, the soft, untouched clay from which the entire sculpture of your past is shaped. Think of this moment now. It feels singular, simple. But it is a grand confluence, a river fed by countless streams. These streams are your senses, each one a messenger bringing you stories from the world outside. They are delivering the ingredients that your mind will later learn to cook into a meal, to weave into a story. But for now, they are just arriving. Let us begin with the light. Even with your eyes gently closed, light is here. Not the bright, clear light of day, but its faint and gentle echo. Notice the soft, deep darkness behind your eyelids. It is not a perfect, empty black. Perhaps you can perceive subtle patterns, a gentle dance of muted color, a fading bloom of light from a lamp, in the hall or the moon outside your window. This is the first messenger, light. Particles of pure energy, photons, that have traveled across space to arrive at your eyes. They carry with them a story of shape, of color, of distance. They don't know they are a window, or a face, or a book. They are simply messengers carrying a code of brightness and shadow. They have delivered their message to the very back of your eye, and now they stand at the first gate of your mind, waiting. This is the first thread of information. The light of the world, translated dot, and now, listen. Bring your awareness to the world of sound. Perhaps the world around you feels silent, but listen closer. Listen past the quiet. Can you hear the low, steady hum of the house around you? The gentle sigh of the wind outside? The distant, muffled rumble of a world settling down for the night? These are vibrations, waves of pressure traveling through the air like ripples on a still pond. They find their way into the intricate, spiraling shell of your inner ear, where they are gathered and focused. The rustle of your own sheets is a story of movement. The sound of your own breathing is the rhythm of your own life, a constant, faithful companion. Like the light, these sounds are not yet meaning. They are not yet a car or the wind. They are pure information, a physical pattern, another stream of raw data flowing into the deep, quiet delta of your awareness. Another messenger has arrived, carrying a different kind of story, a story told in vibration. Now, feel the gentle pressure of the blankets resting upon you. Notice their weight, their softness. This is the world of touch. Your skin, the largest organ of your body, is a vast and sensitive map, constantly reading the world. It reads temperature, the cool air on your face, the warmth captured beneath the covers. It reads pressure, the firm support of the mattress. Beneath you, the light touch of your own hands resting together. Every point of contact is a tiny piece of information, a message from the physical world. This too is a thread, a message that speaks of texture, of temperature, of pressure. It is a silent, physical language that your body understands innately. These sensations have been arriving all day, but now, in the quiet, you can feel them more clearly. They are not yet a blanket or a pillow. They are a pattern of warmth and weight, another set of messengers standing at the gates. And what else? The subtle world of scent. As you breathe, you are not just drawing in air. You're drawing in the very molecules of the world around you. Perhaps it is the clean, calming scent of laundry from your pillowcase. Perhaps it is the faint, earthy smell of rain on the evening air. Your sense of smell is ancient, primal. It is a direct pathway, a chemical whisper from the world to your brain. Each scent molecule is a key, fitting into a specific lock within your nose, sending a signal. It's another piece of the puzzle of the present moment, another thread, and the great weaving dot, all of these messengers, from light, from sound, from touch, from scent, are arriving now in this moment. They are flowing into you from every direction, a constant, gentle cascade of pure information. They are the ingredients. The raw clay, the scattered, beautiful notes of a song that has not yet been played. For now, they are separate. The image of muted light is not yet connected to the sound of the wind. The feeling of the soft blanket is not yet joined with the scent of the clean pillowcase. They are all just present, waiting. They stand at the threshold of your conscious mind. They have traveled from the world outside and have knocked on the doors of your senses. But they do not speak the language of the mind. They are physical things, photons, vibrations, pressures, molecules. They cannot enter the inner world as they are. They must be translated. They must be transformed. And so as you rest here at the very edge of a memory, a great and silent transformation is about to begin. These messengers from the physical world are about to be turned into a new language, a language your brain can understand, a language of pure, silent, electrical whispers. And so these messengers from the world, the light, the sound, the touch, the scent have arrived. They are standing at the gates of your nervous system, holding their raw physical truths. But the world within you, the world of thought and feeling and memory, does not speak in photons or vibrations. Your inner world speaks a different language entirely. It is a language of electricity, a silent, flickering language of pure energy dot, and so begins the great translation. A process so swift, so seamless, you have never once felt it happen. At the back of your eyes, specialized cells, your rods and cones, act as perfect translators. They catch the arriving photons and, in a flash of beautiful alchemy, transform the light's energy into a tiny electrical pulse. A spark in the deep, quiet spiral of your inner ear, delicate hair cells sway to the rhythm of the world's vibrations. As they dance, they open microscopic gates, allowing charged particles to rush in, creating another electrical signal. On your skin at the end of each nerve, pressure and temperature are converted into their own electrical signature. A warm touch becomes a slow, steady firing. A cool breeze, a different rhythm. Every sensation, every piece of the outside world is being reborn. It is shedding its physical form and becoming a flicker of lightning, an electrical echo of the real thing. This is the only way to enter the kingdom of the mind. Everything must be turned into this one universal language. The rich, complex world of your experience, the entire symphony of a summer afternoon, the intricate details of a human face, the comforting weight of a hand in yours is converted into a simple binary code. A pulse of energy or no pulse. A spark or silence. It is a language of on and off, yes and no. And from this impossibly simple alphabet, your brain will write the poetry of your entire life. Now, imagine your brain not as a solid object, but as a vast, dark, and quiet sea. a sea of near infinite depth and breadth held within the dome of your skull. And into this sea, the new electrical signals are released. They are like single raindrops falling onto the surface of a perfectly still lake. Each signal a flash of light, a note of sound, a point of pressure creates a ripple. A tiny expanding circle of energy that begins to travel across the water dot. These ripples are not random. They travel along specific pathways, currents that have been carved by evolution and by your own life. These are your neurons, the star stuff of your mind. There are nearly 100 billion of them, a galaxy of living cells, each one a long, delicate thread. They are all connected, but they do not quite touch. Between the end of one neuron and the beginning of the next, there is a tiny gap, a whisper of empty space called a synapse, a canyon of silence that must be crossed. As a ripple of energy, a single electrical pulse travels down the length of one neuron. It reaches this edge. It reaches the cliff of the synapse, and here, another beautiful transformation occurs. To cross the gap, the electrical signal triggers the release of tiny chemical messengers, little ferry boats carrying the message across the silent water. These messengers, called neurotransmitters, drift across the synapse and are caught by the neuron on the other side. And if enough of these messengers arrive, they ignite a new spark, a new electrical ripple in the next neuron, and the message continues its journey. So the journey of a sensation is a chain of these events, repeated millions of times a second. It is a spark of electricity, a whisper of chemistry, a spark of electricity, a whisper of chemistry, a breathtaking relay race happening at the speed of thought. A single touch on your fingertip creates a ripple that travels up your arm, through your spinal cord, and into the vast, quiet sea of the brain. A whisper of sound creates a ripple that journeys from your ear into the auditory centers. Deep within, right now, as you lie here, this is happening. The feeling of the pillow beneath your head is a constant stream of these ripples flowing into your brain, reminding it of where you are. The muted sounds of the night are sending their own gentle waves through the neural waters. These are the echoes of the now. They are not yet memories. They are fleeting, transient. Like a literal echo, they will fade if nothing holds them. They are potential, pure, and simple. There are thousands upon thousands of separate streams of information, all flowing into the great sea at once. The light from the window, the sound of your breath, the feeling of warmth. Each is a separate ripple, traveling through different parts of the dark water. They are all happening at the same time, but they do not yet know they belong to each other. They are all part of the same moment, but they have not yet been introduced. They are a chorus of whispers waiting for a listener. And deep in the center of this electric sea, a special part of your brain is beginning to stir, getting ready to listen. Imagine now that in the very center of that vast and quiet sea of your brain, there's a hidden workshop. Tucked away in the deep, ancient parts of your mind, in what is called the temporal lobe, lies a small and beautiful structure. It is curved like a seahorse, and its name, hippocampus, comes from the Greek words for just that. This is the workshop. And inside, a master artisan is at work. The hippocampus is the weaver of your memories. All those separate ripples, those electrical echoes of the present moment, eventually find their way here. The signal that began as light in your eye, the signal that was born from a vibration in your ear, the signal that came from a touch on your skin, they have traveled through different regions of your brain's cortex, the vast outer surface that processes these senses. The visual cortex has registered the light. The auditory cortex has registered the sound. The somatosensory cortex has registered the feeling. Each region has done its part, understanding its own piece of the puzzle, but they remain separate. Stories. It is the hippocampus, this gentle weaver, that calls these stories together. It is a convergence point. It sends out a quiet call across the neural pathways saying, you, the experience of dim light, and you, the feeling of soft linen, and you, the sound of a deep, slow breath, you all belong to the same moment. Come here. Let me show you how you are connected. And so the threads arrive at the weaver's loom. A thread of sight, a thread of sound, a thread of emotion, a thread of touch. Each one is a distinct electrical pattern, a unique vibration. On their own, they are fleeting sensations. But the hippocampus, with its profound and patient intelligence, begins to do its sacred work. It takes these disparate threads and begins to braid them together. It weaves the cool color of twilight from the window with the gentle weight of the blanket and the feeling of peace that is settling over you. It finds the common rhythm, the shared context. It creates a new, more complex pattern that holds all the others within it. This is the birth of what we call an episodic memory, the memory of a specific event, a scene from the movie of your life. The hippocampus is not where the sights and sounds are stored themselves. The visual information still lives in the visual cortex, the sound information in the auditory cortex. The hippocampus is the master index. It is the librarian who doesn't hold all the books, but knows exactly where each one is on the shelves, and most importantly, which books belong together to tell a single story. It creates a map, a single, elegant key that can unlock all those different pieces of information at once that when the hippocampus braids these threads together, it creates a temporary tapestry. This is a short-term memory. It is a beautiful, intricate pattern, but it is fragile. It is held together by a temporary, delicate energy. It's like a design drawn in the sand. It exists, it is whole, it is beautiful, but a single wave of new information, a distraction, a new strong experience can wash it away forever. How many times have you walked into a room and forgotten why you are there? That is the fragility of this first weaving. The tapestry was being woven, but a new, stronger set of signals arrived, a new sight, a new sound, and the weaver had to let go of the old threads to begin working with the new ones. The hippocampus has a limited capacity. It can only hold a few of these temporary tapestries at once. It is the busy workbench of the mind. All day long, it receives the threads of your experience. The taste of your morning coffee woven with the sight of the sunrise and the feeling of the warm mug in your hands. A conversation with a friend where the sound of their voice is woven with the expression on their face and the emotion you felt. The feeling of the pavement under your feet as you walk down the street. Each moment is a new set of threads, a new tapestry to be woven. So you can imagine this gentle, tireless artisan sitting at its loom in the center of your mind. It is the gateway through which an experience must pass if it is to have any chance of becoming a lasting part of you. Without the hippocampus, this weaving cannot happen. People with damage to this area of the brain can remember their distant past, all the tapestries that were already woven and stored, but they cannot create new ones. They live forever in the present moment, with each new experience dissolving. Like sand through their fingers, the raw materials arrive, but the weaver is not there to bind them together. As you lie here now, letting go of the day, the work of your hippocampus is slowing. The flood of new threads from the waking world is subsiding. The weaver can finally take a breath. It is holding the last few tapestries of your day, the feeling of turning off the light, the final words you read in a book, the sensation of your head touching the pillow. These patterns are delicate, held in this temporary, magical space. They are the first draft of your history. They are a memory, yes, but a temporary one, a whisper of a story. For this beautiful, fragile tapestry to become a permanent part of the great museum of you, it must be moved from this temporary workshop. It must be rewoven with stronger, more permanent thread, and that requires an even deeper, quieter magic. How does this beautiful, fragile tapestry, held so delicately in the hippocampus, become a permanent part of you? The tapestry woven by your hippocampus is beautiful, but it is not built to last. It is a sketch, a blueprint. For a memory to endure, for it to survive the passing of days and years, it cannot remain just a temporary pattern of energy. It must become physical. It must be etched into the very structure of your brain. The blueprint must become a building. The sketch must be carved in stone. This is the process of consolidation, of making a memory solid and real. Imagine again the vast network of your neurons, that galaxy of 100 billion stars connected by intricate, shimmering pathways. When the hippocampus first wove your experience together, it created a temporary circuit. It activated a specific set of neurons in a specific pattern, some in the visual cortex, some in the auditory, some in the feeling centers, all at once. This initial activation is like walking through a dense, untracked forest for the first time. You leave behind a faint trail, a few bent branches, a few footprints in the soft earth, but it is a fragile path. If you do not walk it again, the forest will quickly reclaim it. The grass will grow back, the branches will straighten, and soon it will be as if you were never there. This is a short-term memory, a faint path. To make it a long-term memory, that path must be walked again and again until it is no longer a faint trail but a well-worn road. This is the magic of long-term potentiation, or LTP. It is a beautiful and simple principle. Neurons that fire together, wire together. When a memory is first formed, the connections, the synapses between the neurons in that circuit are just average. The chemical ferry boats that carry the message across the gap do their job, but it is not an easy crossing. But if that same circuit is activated again, something remarkable begins to happen. The neurons involved in that memory path begin to change themselves. Physically, picture that synapse, that tiny gap between two neurons. As the signal for a specific memory is repeated, the neuron sending the signal gets better at its job. It becomes more efficient, releasing more of its chemical messengers with each pulse. It's like a messenger becoming stronger and faster with practice. On the other side of the gap, the receiving neuron also transforms. It becomes more sensitive. It grows more receptors, more landing docks for the chemical ferry boats to arrive. It is listening more intently. The conversation between these two neurons becomes easier, louder, and clearer. The very structure of the synapse can change. The connection can broaden, making the gap easier to cross. New synapses can even sprout, creating entirely new bridges between the neurons on that path. The faint trail is becoming a dirt road. With more repetition, it becomes a paved lane. Eventually, it can become a superhighway of thought, where the signal of that memory can travel almost effortlessly. This physical change is the memory. Memory is not a thing stored in a single place. It is a specific network of strengthened connections. It is a pattern of roads carved into the landscape of your brain. Think of it like writing with starlight. Each time you recall a moment, each time your brain replays that pattern, the stars along that pathway, your neurons glow a little brighter. The connections between them become more luminous. A new memory is a faint, scattered collection of lights. But as it is strengthened, those lights burn brighter and the lines connecting them become brilliant, unmistakable beams. Your brain becomes a celestial map, and your memories are the constellations etched upon it. To remember is to trace one of these constellations with your mind, following the bright, familiar lines of light. This process explains so much. It is why practice makes perfect. When you learn to play a new chord on a guitar, the first time is clumsy. The path between the thought, the instruction, and the movement of your fingers is a faint one. But as you practice, you're physically strengthening that neural circuit. The path becomes a highway, and soon your fingers can find the chord without you even thinking about it. You have carved the memory of that movement into your very brain. It is also why studying works. Rereading a fact or an idea is like walking that neural path again and again, reinforcing the connections, making the information more likely to stick. You are telling your brain, this path is important, keep it, strengthen it. This quiet, physical transformation is happening all the time beneath the surface of your awareness. It is a slow, patient architectural process. Your experiences are constantly reshaping the physical landscape of your mind. You are, in a very real sense, physically made of your memories. The person you are today is a result of the roads that have been paved, the constellations that have been drawn in the universe of your brain. The stronger the emotion tied to the experience, the more powerfully this process is engaged. A moment of great joy or fear sends a surge of chemicals through your brain that says, pay attention, this is important. Carve this path deeply. As you lie here on the edge of sleep, your brain is preparing for the most important phase of this architectural work. The daily traffic of conscious thought is quieting down. The construction crew is about to get its best, most uninterrupted time to work. The faint paths of today's significant moments are waiting. They are ready to be revisited, to be walked again and again by your sleeping mind, until they are no longer fragile trails, but lasting roads in the star-woven atlas of you. But when does this deep, quiet work truly take hold? When does the starlight writing burn most brightly? The world grows distant now. The rhythms of your body are slowing. Your breath is deep and steady, a gentle rolling wave. You are drifting now, letting go of the shoreline of wakefulness and floating out into the deep, quiet ocean of sleep. And it is here, in the sanctuary of the sleeping mind, that the most sacred work of memory begins. During the day, your brain is a bustling train station. Information arrives constantly, a clamor of sights, sounds, and thoughts. The hippocampus, our diligent weaver, works tirelessly to catch the most important threads and braid them into the temporary tapestries of short-term memory. The station is loud, chaotic, and crowded. There is little time for deep structural work, but now, as you sleep, the station closes for the night. The crowds have gone home. A profound and productive silence descends, and in this silence, the nightly librarian arrives. Your sleeping brain is no longer a station. It has transformed into a vast and silent library. The shelves stretch up into the darkness, holding all the memories you have ever consolidated, all the stories and skills that make you who you are. And the hippocampus, its role shifting from a frantic weaver to a wise librarian, begins its nightly task that it holds the day's collection of temporary tapestries, those fragile memories of things that happened just hours ago. Now, in the peace of the night, it is time to sort them. The librarian examines each one. This memory, the color of the sky this afternoon, is it important? This one, the feeling of the satisfying conversation, does it connect to other important memories? This one, the exact location where you placed your keys, is it vital for tomorrow? The librarian is a master curator, deciding what is worth keeping. It is not a conscious process, of course. It is a deep, instinctual intelligence, guided by emotion and repetition. The experiences that were tagged with strong feelings, or the ones that were replayed several times during the day, are marked for preservation. For these chosen memories, the most important journey of the night begins. The librarian, your hippocampus, begins to send a copy of the blueprint, the memory's unique pattern out to the grand library shelves, the vast expanse of your cerebral cortex. It doesn't just send it once. All night long, During the deep, slow wave phases of your sleep, the hippocampus gently replaces the memory. It reactivates that specific neural circuit, the one connecting the visual, auditory, and emotional centers that were part of the original experience. The signal travels along that faint path again and again and again. The brain researchers who listen in on the sleeping mind can actually see this happen. They can detect the electrical signature of a memory from the day being replayed, sometimes at an accelerated speed, over and over. This is the process of writing in starlight we spoke of, happening in its most potent form. With each replay, the connections between the neurons in the cortex grow stronger. The path becomes clearer, more defined. The memory is slowly being transferred from the temporary, limited storage of the hippocampus to the vast, near limitless, permanent storage of the cortex. The librarian is carefully making a new, durable copy of the book and placing it on the correct shelf in the main library. Once the memory is securely etched into the cortex, the hippocampus can begin to let go of its own copy. Its job is done. The blueprint is no longer needed because the building now stands on its own. This is why, over time, a memory becomes independent of the hippocampus. A person with hippocampal damage can still recall their childhood because those memories have long since been moved to the library of the cortex. They were consolidated decades ago, night after night, in just this way. And what of the other memories? The unimportant ones? The fleeting thoughts, the trivial details, the thousands of moments that don't need to be kept. The nightly librarian has a task for them too. They must be cleared away. During sleep, your brain activates a remarkable cleaning system. It gently washes away the residue of the day's thinking, pruning the neural connections that are no longer needed. It erases the faint, untrodden paths. This is the beautiful, necessary act of forgetting. It is not a failure, but a vital housekeeping task. The library must be kept tidy. Space must be cleared on the shelves for the new books of tomorrow. Without this nightly clearing, your mind would become a cluttered attic, so full of trivial details that you could no longer find the things that truly matter. This is why a good night's sleep is so crucial for learning and memory. It is not passive time. It is the most active and important period for making your experiences a lasting part of you. You can study all day, but it's during sleep that the knowledge is truly cemented, that the skills are truly honed. You are literally rebuilding your mind every single night. So as you drift deeper now, feel the profound peace of this process. Know that within you, a wise and ancient librarian is at work. It is honoring your day. It is carefully curating your experiences, strengthening what is meaningful, and gently letting go of what is not. It is weaving the important moments of your day into the permanent, star-woven atlas of you. It is a silent, sacred ritual. And through this ritual, the raw material of your life is being transformed into the beautiful, intricate story of who you are, a story written across the constellations of your mind. A story not just of facts, but of moments, of scenes, of feelings. The very fabric of your yesterday. With your memories safely sorted and stored by the nightly librarian, they become a permanent part of your inner landscape. They form a vast and flowing river, the river of your own personal past. Let us drift down that river for a while. This is the realm of your episodic memory, the collection of moments and events that make up the story of your life. Unlike a library of facts, this river is alive. Its waters are not still. They flow and shimmer, catching the light of your present. Awareness. To recall an episodic memory is not like pulling a dusty book from a shelf. It is more like dipping your hands into this river and pulling out a shimmering, holographic scene. It is the memory of your first day at school, or the taste of a birthday cake from when you were 7. It is the feeling of sunshine on your face during a long ago holiday. It is the exact sound of a loved one's laughter. These are the films that play only for you. They have a time, a place, and most importantly, a feeling. When you recall one, you are not just recalling a fact. You are time traveling in your own mind. You are reactivating the constellation of neurons that was etched into your brain, the one that connects the sight, the sound, and the feeling of that original moment. For a brief instant, you are there again. You can almost feel the warmth, almost smell the air. You are the protagonist in the movie of your own life, and these memories are the scenes that you can revisit. But here is the beautiful and curious thing about this river. The scenes you pull from it are not perfect, crystal clear recordings. A memory is not a video camera. It is a reconstruction, a recreation. Each time you remember an event, you are not just playing it back, you are rebuilding it. Your brain gathers the core elements, the key sights, sounds, and emotions from where they are stored in the cortex. And then it fills in the gaps. It uses logic, expectation, and what you know now to complete the picture. This is why memories can feel so real, yet can also be so malleable. They are living stories, not static files. Each time you tell the story of a past event, you are subtly reweaving it. You might emphasize a different part or see it from a slightly new perspective. The emotion you feel today can color the way you remember a feeling from yesterday. The story can change over time, polished by retelling, its sharp edges softened. Its colors, perhaps, a little brighter or a little more muted than they originally were. Think of a cherished memory from your childhood. The image you hold in your mind feels complete, whole. But is it? The memory might be of a day at the beach. You remember the brilliant sun, the scratchy feel of the sand, the taste of salt on your lips, the joy of the waves. But can you remember what every single person on the beach was wearing? Can you recall every word of every conversation? Of course not. Your brain has held onto the essential, meaningful core of the experience, the sensory and emotional highlights, and when you might recall it, it paints a beautiful, impressionistic masterpiece around that core. It is not a photograph. It is a Monet. It captures the light, the feeling, the essence. And that is what makes it so powerful. This makes your memory an incredibly creative and dynamic process. You are not just a passive archivist of your past. You are its active storyteller, its constant editor. This is a gift. It allows you to learn from your past, to reevaluate old events with new wisdom. It allows you to find new meaning in old stories. The river of yesterday is not frozen in time. It is flowing, and its currents are shaped by the person you are today. Each of these episodic memories is like a room you can visit in the vast mansion of your mind. There is a room for your 5th birthday party, a room for a quiet walk in an autumn forest, a room for a difficult goodbye. You can open the door and step inside, surrounding yourself with the essence of that time. Some rooms you visit often. They are familiar, comforting, their details well known. Others are in distant wings of the mansion, their doors rarely opened. The memory is still there, the constellation is still etched in the stars, but the path to it has become overgrown from disuse. As you drift here in the quiet of your mind, perhaps you can sense this vast, flowing river. You don't need to dive into it, just feel its presence. It is the accumulated richness of your life. Every joy, every challenge, every quiet moment of wonder. They are all there, woven into the fabric of who you are. They inform your decisions, shape your personality, and provide the deep, rich context for your life. You are who you are because of the specific, unique, and unrepeatable series of moments that have brought you to this very night. You are the sole keeper of this incredible personal archive. No one else has your river. No one else has your collection of stories. It is a universe of experience that belongs only to you. It is the story of you written by you for you. And yet, this river of stories is only one kind of memory that you hold. There is another kind, a much quieter, more mysterious form of knowing that guides you every single moment without you ever having to think about it at all. It is a memory held not in stories, but in the wisdom of your own body. Beyond the flowing river of your stories, there is another kind of memory, a deeper, quieter, more fundamental kind of knowing. It doesn't live in images or narratives. It doesn't have a time or a place. It lives in your body, in your hands, in your legs, in the very posture you hold. This is your procedural memory. It is the memory of how. This is the silent knowing. Think of the simple act of walking. You do not need to remember the story of how you learned to walk. You do not need to consult a mental instruction manual. Now lift the left foot, move it forward, place it down. Shift weight. The knowledge is not in your conscious mind. It is held in the neural pathways that connect your brain to your muscles. It is an automatic, effortless, graceful intelligence. Your body simply knows, or consider riding a bicycle. You might remember the story of learning the scraped knees, the wobbly handlebars, the triumphant feeling of that first moment of balance. That is an episodic memory, a scene from the river of your past, but the actual ability to ride the bike, the subtle shifts in weight, the constant, tiny adjustments of the handlebars to maintain balance, that is a procedural memory. It is a complex physical skill that once learned becomes a part of you. You can go years without riding, but when you get back on, your body remembers. The silent knowing awakens, the well-traveled neural highways light up and you just ride dot. This is the memory of skill. The memory of tying your shoelaces, the memory of signing your name, the fluid, unconscious movements of your fingers as you type on a keyboard. Each of these is a sophisticated symphony of muscle contractions and releases, orchestrated by your brain with a mastery that requires no conscious thought. You have practiced these actions so many times that they have been etched into the very deepest parts of your brain, in areas like the cerebellum and the basal ganglia, regions that specialize in motor control and habit formation, unlike the hippocampus, which weave stories. These parts of your brain are like master sculptors, slowly and patiently carving well-worn grooves of action. The process of learning a new skill is the process of carving a new groove. At first, it is difficult and requires immense concentration. You have to think about every single step. But with repetition, the groove gets deeper. The action becomes smoother, more efficient. Eventually, the groove is so deep that the action can run along it on its own, freeing up your conscious mind to think about other things. You can drive a car along a familiar route while planning your day, your body's silent knowing handling the complex task of steering, braking, and accelerating. This silent knowing is a profoundly gentle and powerful form of memory. It is robust. It is far less susceptible to the forgetting that can fade our stories. It is a deep physical wisdom. It is the pianist whose fingers know the music better than their conscious mind does. It is the potter whose hands know the shape of the clay. It is the swimmer whose body knows the rhythm of the water dot as you lie here, resting. You can feel this silent knowing in your own body. Feel the way your body knows how to breathe. You are not commanding it. A deep, ancient part of your brain is managing the gentle rise and fall of your chest, a rhythm it has known since the moment you were born. This is the most fundamental procedural memory of all. The memory of how to be alive. This form of memory is a quiet comfort. It is the foundation upon which your conscious life is built. It frees you. Because your body knows how to walk, you are free to notice the beauty of the world around you as you move through it. Because your hands know how to write, you are free to focus on the words you want to express. This silent intelligence is your constant, invisible partner, handling the countless complexities of physical existence so that your conscious self, can be free to dream, to wonder, and to feel. It is a memory without a story, a knowing, without words. It is the accumulated wisdom of a lifetime of practice, held in the quiet, capable architecture of your nervous system. It is the trust you have in your own body to navigate the world. And it is this deep, embodied knowledge that forms the canvas of your life. But what is it that paints the most vivid colors onto this canvas? What is it that makes one memory, whether a story or a skill, shine so much brighter than all the others? The answer is not in the mind alone, but in the heart. We have journeyed through the rivers of your stories and explored the deep, quiet wisdom of your body. But a question floats gently in the air. Why? Why do some memories feel as though they are etched in diamond, while others dissolve like mist? Why can you remember the precise feeling of a moment from 20 years ago, yet forget what you had for lunch yesterday? The answer is not just in the mechanics of the brain, but in the chemistry of the heart. The secret ingredient that makes a memory endure is emotion. Emotion is the anchor for memory. It is the vibrant, indelible ink with which the most important stories of your life are written. Deep in your brain, nestled right next to the hippocampus, the weaver of memory, is another small, almond-shaped structure. This is the amygdala. If the hippocampus is the brain's librarian, the amygdala is its emotional heart. It is the center for your most powerful feelings, your joys, your fears, your sorrows, your wonders. And its proximity to the hippocampus is no accident of biology. It is a profound and beautiful design. Memory and emotion are intimate neighbors. They work together, hand in hand. When you experience something that carries a strong emotional charge, your amygdala springs to life. It sends out a powerful signal, a chemical flare that bathes the surrounding brain regions, including the hippocampus. This flare essentially says, pay attention. This is important. This moment matters. This emotional signal acts as a catalyst, supercharging the entire memory-making process. Think of it like a tag. Most of the moments in your day are like plain, untagged files of information. They come and they go. But a moment of sudden, breathtaking beauty, a sunset that stops you in your tracks, gets a bright, glowing tag from the amygdala that says wonder. A moment of deep, heartfelt connection with another person gets a tag that says love. A moment of startling fear gets a tag that says danger. When the hippocampus, our weaver, receives the threads of an experience that has been tagged by the amygdala, it treats them differently. It weaves that tapestry with a stronger, more vibrant thread. And later, when the nightly librarian is sorting the day's events, it sees that bright emotional tag and knows, without a doubt, that this is a memory to be preserved. This is a story that must be moved to the permanent library. The hormonal surge that comes with strong emotion chemicals like adrenaline and cortisol also helps to burn the memory into your neural pathways more deeply. It helps to speed up and strengthen the process of long-term potentiation, the physical writing of the memory into your brain. This is why flashbulb memories exist. A moment of intense public shock or personal joy is seared into the minds of millions, not because the details are perfectly accurate, but because the emotional significance was so high for everyone at once. The amygdala sent out a collective flare, telling everyone's brain, remember this. This emotional anchor works for all kinds of feelings. The memory of your greatest triumph is likely sharp and clear because of the joy that accompanied it. The memory of a profound loss is vivid because of the sorrow that carved it into you. But it is not just the grand, dramatic emotions that do this work. Quiet feelings are anchors too. A moment of perfect, profound peace, a feeling of deep contentment as you sat by a fire, a gentle wave of gratitude for a simple kindness. These Quiet, positive emotions are also powerful tags for the hippocampus. They signal that a moment is meaningful, that it is part of the story of what you value, of what brings you comfort and grace. This is a beautiful system. It ensures that your memory is not just a cold, impartial record of events. It is a story of what has mattered to you. Your past is curated by your heart. The memories that shine the brightest are the ones that touched you the most deeply. When you look back over the landscape of your life, it is these emotionally significant moments that stand out like luminous mountain peaks, defining the entire terrain. The mundane flat plains in between fade away as they should. This connection is a two-way street. Just as emotion helps to form a memory, the memory itself becomes a vessel for that emotion. When you recall that joyous moment, you don't just remember that you were happy. For a fleeting instant, the amygdala and the rest of the circuit reactivate, and you can feel a faint, gentle echo of the original joy. A memory can be a source of comfort, a place you can return to feel the warmth of a past happiness. It is a way of carrying the best feelings of your life with you, long after the moments themselves have passed. So as you rest here, surrounded by the quiet of the night, know that the atlas of you is not a neutral map. It is a map of feeling. It is a testament to the moments that made your heart beat faster, the moments that brought you to tears, the moments that made you feel deeply, profoundly alive. These are the anchors that hold your story together. These are the bright, glowing stars in your inner constellation. And it is the presence of these anchors, these feelings, that gives you a reason to journey back into the past. It gives you a reason to want to remember. But how exactly does that journey back begin? How do you follow the thread? A memory, once consolidated and anchored by emotion, is not gone. It is simply resting, a silent constellation in the vast sky of your cortex. It is there, waiting. But having a memory and accessing it are two different things. The act of remembering, of retrieval, is its own quiet and remarkable journey. It is the art of finding the path back to that specific constellation. To remember is to send out a quiet call into the immense library of your mind. It is to stand at the entrance of a deep and beautiful forest and look for the beginning of a specific trail. This call is a cue. A cue can be anything. It can be a question, what did I do last summer? It can be a scent, the smell of baking bread that suddenly transports you to your grandmother's kitchen. It can be a song on the radio that instantly brings back the feeling of a teenage romance. It can be a face, a word, a place. A cue is a key designed to fit a specific lock. When your brain receives this cue, it begins a search. It sends a ripple of energy out across its neural networks, a signal that carries the signature of the cue. Does anyone recognize this song? Does anyone connect to this scent? The signal spreads, searching for a pathway, a constellation that resonates with it. Sometimes the path is clear and bright. If the memory is recent, or if it is one you visit often, the trail is a well-worn highway. The cue is the on-ramp, and in an instant, you are there. The memory floods into your awareness, vivid and complete. Someone asks your name, and the retrieval is instantaneous. The path is so strong, so bright, it requires no effort at all. This is the simple joy of an easily found memory, but often the journey is more subtle. The memory is older, the path less traveled. The forest has grown up around it. And so you must follow a fainter thread. You have that feeling of a word on the tip of your tongue. You know that you know it. The constellation is there. You can feel its gravitational pull, but you cannot quite see its light. You can't find the beginning of the trail. And so you begin to search for other ways in. You use association. You think around the memory. What letter does it start with? Who was I with when I last heard that word? What were we talking about? Each of these questions is a new cue, a new key you are trying in the lock. You are circling the area in the forest where you know the path begins, looking for any sign of it, a familiar tree, a distinctive rock. And then suddenly, one of these cues works. A connection is made. A flicker of light appears. You have found the thread dot, you begin to follow it. At first, it is faint. You pull on it gently, and a small piece of the memory comes into view. Ah, yes, it was on a Tuesday. That piece is now a new, stronger cue. It leads you to another piece. We were in that little cafe, and that leads to another. It was raining outside. You are pulling the memory into the light, piece by piece, following the chain of associations, the interconnected neurons in that specific network. You are walking the path, and with each step, the forest recedes and the memory becomes clearer until you are standing in the full scene. The constellation glowing brightly in your mind. Every act of remembering is an act of recreation. As we learned, you are not just playing a recording. You are rebuilding the memory from its core components. This is why the context in which you try to remember is so important. It's easier to remember something in the same environment where you first learned it. Your brain uses the sights, sounds, and feelings of your current environment as retrieval cues. This is why walking back into a room you just left can help you remember why you went there in the first place. The room itself is a powerful key. Your emotional state is also a powerful cue. It is often easier to recall a happy memory when you are feeling happy and a sad memory when you are feeling sad. Your current feeling sends out a call for other times you have felt that way, activating the memories that were anchored with that same emotion. This journey of retrieval is a testament to the incredible, interconnected nature of your mind. Nothing exists in isolation. Every memory is a node in a vast, intricate web of associations. To remember is to travel along the silk threads of this web. It is a dynamic, creative process. It is a form of inner discovery. You are an explorer in the landscape of your own past, so even memories that seem lost are often not gone forever. They are simply waiting. The path to them may be overgrown, the thread may be faint, but with the right key, the right cue, the right gentle pull of thought, it can often be found again. A forgotten melody, a name from long ago, a childhood scent, they can spring back into your awareness, a sudden surprising gift from your own mind. They were there all along, resting in the quiet starlight, waiting for you to come and visit. But what about the paths that truly do disappear? What about the threads that break? What of the grace in letting some things go? In our journey through memory, we have celebrated the act of holding on. We have honored the weavers and the librarians, the starlight writers and the emotional anchors that help you keep what is precious. But now we must turn to the other side of this beautiful coin. We must honor the gentle, necessary, and graceful art of forgetting. Forgetting is not a flaw. It is not a sign of a failing mind. It is a feature, not a bug. It is one of the most intelligent and adaptive things your brain does. To live a full and present life, you must be able to let go. Your mind, in its infinite wisdom, knows this. Imagine if you remembered everything, every single moment of every single day with perfect clarity, every face you passed on the street, every word on every page you ever skimmed, every meal you ever ate, every second of boring traffic. Your mind would be a chaotic storm of information, a library with no librarian where every book is screaming for attention at once. You would be unable to distinguish the meaningful from the trivial. You would be trapped in the endless noise of your own past, unable to think clearly, to make decisions, or to focus on the beauty of the present moment. Forgetting is the quiet pruning of the garden of your mind. It is the gentle hand that weeds out what is no longer needed to make space for new flowers to grow. It is the silent background process that keeps your inner world clean, organized, and functional. It allows you to see the forest for the trees. There are many ways that your brain practices this gentle art. The first is a simple passive decay. Memories, especially those that are not emotionally significant and are not revisited, are like those faint paths in the forest. If the path is not walked, nature slowly reclaims it. The neural connections that form that memory trace weaken over time. The starlight fades, the thread frays and dissolves. This is a quiet, peaceful fading. The memory of what you had for breakfast last Tuesday is probably gone, and that is a good thing. It has been gently composted, making room for new thoughts. Then there is the process of interference. New experiences can sometimes overwrite or interfere with old ones. As you learn a new phone number, the memory trace for your old one may become harder to access. It's as if your brain is building a new, more relevant path right on top of the old one. This is not a loss, but an update. Your mind is prioritizing what is most useful to you now, and perhaps most beautifully, there is the active, intentional forgetting that happens every single night while you sleep. As the nightly librarian sorts through the day's memories, it is not just deciding what to keep, it is actively deciding what to discard. As we learned, your brain has a remarkable cleaning system that washes away the metabolic byproducts of thinking. The same system is thought to help weaken and dismantle the neural connections associated with unimportant memories. It is a nightly reset, a gentle clearing of the slate, so you can awaken to a new day with mental space, with clarity, with the capacity to learn and experience a new dot. To forget is to be free. Forgetting painful or traumatic events, or at least the sharp, debilitating emotional sting of them, is crucial for healing. Over time, your mind can slowly uncouple the story of an event from its emotional anchor. You may still remember what happened, but it no longer has the same power over you. The memory becomes a scar rather than an open wound, a part of your history, but not a defining part of your present pain. This is the grace of forgetting, a slow and gentle release that allows you to move forward. So as you lie here, drifting towards sleep, let go of any frustration you might feel about the things you cannot recall. See your forgetting not as a weakness, but as a quiet strength. It is your brain's way of protecting you, of keeping you sane and present. It is a sign of a healthy, dynamic mind that is constantly updating itself, constantly adapting to the present, constantly making room for the future. Honor the memories that have faded. They serve their purpose in the moment and then return to the earth of your mind. Be grateful for the mental space they have left behind. It is in this clear, open space that new ideas can be born, new skills can be learned, and new, beautiful memories can be woven. Forgetting is the exhale of the mind. It is the necessary release that makes the next inhale, the next moment of new experience, possible. And it is this constant, rhythmic dance of remembering and forgetting, of holding on and letting go, that creates the ever-shifting, ever-growing masterpiece of you. Our journey is drawing to a gentle close. We have walked the quiet pathways of your mind, from the first flicker of sensation to the deep archives of your past. We have met the weaver, the librarian, and the artist within you. And now, let us take one final step back. Let us ascend to a place where we can see the entire landscape at once. From this vantage point, look down upon the universe of your mind. What you see is a sky, vast and dark and beautiful, and scattered across this sky are countless points of light. Each point of light is a memory, a single luminous star. There are the bright, pulsing stars of your most powerful memories, those anchored by deep emotion. These are the pole stars of your life, the ones you navigate by. The birth of a child, a moment of profound love, a great achievement. They burn with a steady, brilliant light. There are the softer, gentler stars of your happy memories. The quiet glow of 1,000 pleasant afternoons, shared meals, and easy laughter, they form warm, shimmering clouds of light, like the Milky Way, giving a soft radiance to the whole sky. And there are the constellations, the patterns you have learned to see. This cluster of stars here, connected by bright, strong lines, that is the memory of your childhood home. You can trace its shape with your mind's eye, the front door, your bedroom window, the old tree in the yard. This looping pattern of stars. Over here is a skill, the constellation of driving a car or playing an instrument. The lights are so deeply connected that the pattern flows with an easy, practiced grace. Every star, every constellation is a part of your personal cosmology. This is the star-woven atlas of you. It is the sum of everything you have ever experienced, learned, and felt. This entire celestial map, and all its breathtaking complexity and beauty, is what you call yourself. You are not a single thing. You are a collection of stories. You are a library of skills. You are a gallery of feelings. You are this entire, unique, and unrepeatable pattern of stars. The connections between these stars, the gravitational pull they exert on one another, this is what creates your personality, your beliefs, your hopes, your fears. Your sense of identity is not located in one single place in your brain. It emerges from this dynamic, interconnected web of memory dot. And the most beautiful truth of all is that this constellation is not static. It is not a fixed ancient map. It is a living, breathing, and ever-expanding universe. Every single day, you add new stars to it. Every new experience, every new piece of knowledge, every new feeling is a flicker of new light in your inner sky dot as you sleep tonight. The nightly librarian is busy. It is looking at the faint, new points of light from your day. It is strengthening the ones that matter, polishing them until they shine, and weaving them into the existing constellations, creating new patterns, new connections. At the same time, it is allowing the dimmest, most distant stars of trivial moments to gently fade away, keeping your sky clear and beautiful. You are a creator of worlds. You are an astronomer of your own soul, and you are a cartographer constantly redrawing your own map. This is why you can change. This is why you can grow. You can learn new things, creating entirely new constellations of skill. You can have new experiences that change your perspective, causing you to see the old constellations in a new light. You can form new relationships that become the brightest new stars in your sky. You are not the same person you were a year ago because your inner cosmos has changed. This is a profoundly hopeful and empowering thought. Your past does not define you as a fixed thing. It is simply the material from which your present self is woven. And you, in this present moment, have the power to choose what experiences you seek, what you pay attention to, what you cherish. You have the power to choose which new stars you will add to your sky tomorrow dot. So as you finally let go now, as you drift on the edge of that deep, restorative sleep, hold this image in your mind. The image of a beautiful star-filled sky that is uniquely yours. It is the story of your life, written in light. It is the source of your wisdom, your comfort, your strength. It is the intricate, ever-evolving masterpiece that is you. Feel the deep peace of knowing that this universe is safe within you. It is your most private and precious landscape. As you rest, the quiet, magical work continues. The starlight is being tended to. The maps are being updated. And all you have to do is surrender to the gentle, gravitational pull of sleep, trusting in the profound and beautiful process of becoming. You are resting now, but the universe inside you is alive. With the quiet, wondrous work of weaving the stars of tomorrow, sleep now, sleep deep, and let your own beautiful constellation shine.